Good morning, everyone. This is Kathy Mason from MasonWorks Marketing here on Conscious Business Zone with my friend Suzanna Kennedy. Hi, Suzanna.
Aloha.
I'm so glad you're here. So
Yeah.
Susanna's in Hawaii. That's why she gave us an aloha. And you guys also, so you know, she did that beautiful painting that's in her background. That's actually her part of her energy work that she's done. So Susanna, today we get to talk about this opportunity for people to really take a kinder, easier path on their awakening path than the earth-shattering ways that some people take when they have an awakening without any assistance, where they're very disoriented and actually in a lot of fear and trauma when they awaken. So will you please share a little bit about this process that you've been doing for the past 20 years, and then we'll go into it deeper. But I just want people to understand the gift that you're offering.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I would say is that there are such high frequencies coming from the galactic core through the sun onto the earth. And the earth herself, as a conscious being, has decided to ascend. And so we need to, we are connected to her physically. And so if we don't ascend with her or raise our vibration with her, it's going to be very, very uncomfortable. And these high frequencies are causing what's hidden and suppressed within us to detox. And you can do it naturally, which means that it's going to come up and it's going to dramatize in front of you, and you're going to have to deal with it face to face. Or you can do it in a more graceful way where, I've already identified all of those hidden places, the 6 core issues that we all have in common. And I have a way to kind of preempt that dramatization of all of that stuff. So we can go in and neutralize and clear and heal all of that stuff before it has a chance to manifest, or to manifest any further, as you might already be experiencing. So I knew that this time was going to come. My guidance told me this a long time ago. And I have, I've been preparing for it, and I've been preparing others for it as well.
Well, I think it's a kinder way of going through these changes. And it's also a support structure as you're starting to experience and be more empathic. A big part of this new change is people getting more into their feelings. And a lot of times if you haven't had that experience before, you don't know if it's you or the person next to you, or you walk into a room and you are happy and then you feel bad. You just can't, you need a guidance really to navigate all of that. And I think that's showing up everywhere now. I don't think it was just in little pockets at the office or at the grocery store. Now it's everywhere, and it's also available online. So there's really no way to escape the sensitivity that we all are having. Is that what you're seeing too?
Yeah, and no way to escape the planetary detox and the personal detox, but there is a way to move through it much more gracefully.
Yes, yes. So what we're referring to is a product, a program that Suzanna has been doing for almost 20 years called the Emotional Mental Detox. And it is remarkable. She's identified the core wounds that we all have, and it doesn't matter what language you speak. If you're human and you had a mother and a father, you have these issues, but they're can be permanently shifted very quickly, so that you could have the experience of taking these courses with Suzanna, with her new course, or even with her old course, and be able to navigate all of these changes, that there's no escaping them. That's all I can say, but with ease and grace, to a point of courageousness. That's what we really need, is us to be able to be problem solvers, so that we navigate this new earth. And you can't be that without the courage that you're solidly centered in love, not in judgment.
Right. Well, and the other thing that's really important now is, and was told to me 20 years ago, is that so much information coming at us all the time, and so much of it is conflicting. And who do you believe? What do you believe? And so to be able to really clear your beliefs, because what you're going to believe is probably going to be aligned with your subconscious beliefs. But those subconscious beliefs are at best obsolete, and probably, causing, some painful situations in your life. So be able to clear all the filters so that you can see through the illusion, and you can feel, then it opens up your intuition and your sensitivity to be able to feel where the truth is, and actually follow your own truth, no matter what anybody is saying.
That's perfect. I see this as personal development at the next level, because the skill sets that you may perfect in a business environment, or in a healing environments, those skill sets you can get very refined, but you may be out of balance in your personal life. And that's why I thought this was such a good conversation to have on Conscious Business Zone, because many of the watchers the audience are servant leaders who are very interested in serving their customers and serving their employees, but they may not always have the resources, because they put everyone else first. They may not always have the resources available, or the time to find the resources like you for themselves. And this is really an amazing opportunity to shift yourselves and see the end of this year. We're at the last quarter of the year. This is a high energy potential time period to really shift everything for the better in your life.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Yes. So you actually have had all sorts of different offerings. You start with the Emotional Mental Detox, but you have other offerings where you've worked one-on-one with people. You live in beautiful Kauai, and you've had people come and visit you and do the deep dive. And are you seeing a lot of shifting right now, and a lot of awakening right now, more than before?
Oh yeah, I think what's going on in the world is causing people to wake up and recognize that things aren't what they thought. What we've been led to believe, and all of the systems that we thought were for, working in our good, we find out they're not, and they're falling apart, which is what they need to do. But the good news is that there is also at the same time an emerging a whole new reality, and a fifth dimensional reality where that old stuff doesn't exist. And it's again part of, this high frequencies coming to the earth. Nothing's going to stop that.
Right.
And so as it raises the frequency in the earth and in all of us, all the denser energy has to go. It has to go somewhere. It has to be released. So what we're seeing, all this chaos is that planetary detox in process. And if anyone's done like a heavy metal detox, that it can be uncomfortable sometimes. So, that's what we're seeing, and we're all each going through it individually. Yeah. And so, everything is contributing to people waking up and remembering who they really are, which is a being of love and light, a vast being, and recognizing that the little sliver of light and love that animates this body is just only like one little ray of the vastness of who you are. And that's clearing away the old stuff allows that to come through. It allows you to really be all that you can be and move through life gracefully. Leave all those patterns of struggle and stress behind, and all the relationship trauma, just leave it behind and be the love, and then attract other people who are in that same vibe, who know how to love without condition and without manipulation.
That's perfect. And I see this whole opportunity to get out of fear. And before I said something about being courageous and being the creative beings that we are, because for this time period, we are going to need to have some creative leadership, not like the power leadership. We're going into this age of Aquarius, which is about collaboration, and we've been in competition. We've been in that whole Darwin survival of the fittest, which the servant leaders know that's not true. That is the antithesis of the direction that we're going. The opportunity to see a kinder, more equal opportunity world comes from this higher frequency that you're talking about, this higher aspect of love embodying everything that we do. And it's here. It's just whether or not you remember it, and whether or not you have all these layers painted over it that just need to be, that's the way. But what I think is fascinating is the 6 different aspects that you were able to identify. I don't know if you would like to just mention a little bit about that now so that people have an idea, because what I love about your process is how linear it is. It's and I've said that before, but I think that it helps people that are business people feel that they've got a process. It's not just whatever the shaman decided to do, or the mystic that's teaching you decides this is what we're doing today. This is a whole separate system that's worked for 20 years to help people actually expand and share their gifts. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, it's I call it the 6 core issues, and we all have them, no matter how we all dramatize them uniquely. But if you grew up on this planet, this is what they are. So sort of, and I like to, I also want to say that this is all based also in quantum physics. So it's not, the woo-woo stuff. It's grounded in science, and it's the marriage, because what we're doing is clearing the consciousness, and the consciousness creates your body, it creates your reality. So we're going in a systematic way to make sure that we get all pieces and parts of the consciousness. So the first session is around male and male issues and male energy. So that would be, father, brothers, partners, business associates, but also it could be someone in a female body who expresses more masculine energy. And it also, we do this first because it also relates to your own inner male, which is the mental part. So we have our right hemisphere and left hemisphere of our brain, and that logical part, the analytical part, the action part is the male. And so just as in society, we've had a patriarchal type society, inside us, we could have a very dominating mental side that doesn't allow the intuition to come through or casts doubt on it. So it can really, it wants proof about everything, and it wants to know what's going to happen in the future. And if it doesn't know, it makes it up. It makes assumptions, and then it judges based on its assumptions. So, clearing that first helps everything else to be free to then get healed and released. So, of course, the next one is the female. And within us, because we've grown up in a patriarchal society, usually that part of us feels repressed and suppressed and wounded because of domination. And so that's the second one. And when you do that, your creativity, your flow, your intuition, and just the flow of energy. If you're blocked there, the flow of energy doesn't move through you. All kinds of energy, creative energy, money energy, so that gets healed. And then those two aspects can come into balance and work together. Perfect. And then the third one is about fear, worry, anxiety, terror, panic attacks. So clearing that, and that is really has a lot to do with the inner child, because that's the part of us that holds those fears from, the first 7 years. And so we clear that. And then the next one is about pain and sorrow and grief and sadness. And, any kind of pain, whether it's mental anguish or emotional pain or physical pain. So any of those. So you see, we're working with a whole frequency set, a whole set of like a consciousness zone. And so we can, no matter how all of this stuff plays out in your life, we're working with the frequencies of these things. So we can clear right at the core, right at the root. So the next one after that is judgment, blame, guilt, and shame. So again, all of the judgments that we have, all of the ways every day that we're evaluating everything and judging everything. Or if you have a really strong inner critic, this helps to release the self-judgment. And and then the last one is lack, limitation, and separation. Because separation, the way that we have been programmed to believe in the illusion of separation, is really at the core. So we're kind of peeling the onion, and that's why it's so much more graceful and it's systematic. And then at the core, lack and limitation is separation. So you're separate from that which you want, what you need, what you desire. So that is a form of separation. And so those are the 6 that we do in the Emotional Mental Detox program.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. I wanted everyone to know, because I really think that we want to have a balanced future. And what we've had before is people talking about, the matriarchy is better than the patriarchy. And, you don't want the teeter-totter. You want the 0 point in the middle, the teeter-totter. We don't want to go back the other way. That's why having this kind of inner clarity, which I think the lockdown caused a lot of people, that fear of death caused people to be more aware of who they were, what their values were, and whether or not they had done what they had hoped to do before they leave. And this is the next step, clearing all of this stuff that may be in the way because it's subconscious. You mentioned that, but really want to reiterate that in a short time period, you could get clear things that it would take you years in hypnosis to get rid of, past life stuff to get rid of, and it'd be very expensive, or therapy. This work really, truly, it goes to 0 point where you get to be the love that you are making the decisions going forward, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's, really why I even developed it in the first place, because, I had been trying other methods, and they required one-on-one sessions that were very expensive. And, it's like there's no end in sight. How do I know when I've got everything? And so it was like, this is what I would want. So that's how I created it.
Yeah, it's fantastic, you guys. I highly recommend all of this work. It's intelligently delivered and packaged so that it's usable, and you'll grow with it as you expand your conscious awareness of the field that you live in. You'll have more access to the divine in you. With ease and grace. It's very graceful. It's intelligent, really, the way you've got it set up.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
So I'm wondering if we should have Victoria. Victoria, would you like to come on now? I can ask you here. I asked her to. Is she there?
Well, I have unmuted, but the video.
Here we go.
There you are.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome, welcome. Well, we're so excited that Victoria's here to explain a little bit about her experience with Suzanna's work, and actually I'll get out of the way and let you two talk for a few minutes, okay?
Sure.
Sounds good.
Go ahead.
Well, Susanna, it's great to see you. I think I met you first on Kauai in person, but I'd heard you about 2000 and, well, at least, my goodness, I can't say for sure, but probably 12, 13 years ago. You were being interviewed by somebody whose interview program I followed, and I was really taken by the word graceful. I had done many different kinds of personal development, and they were all good. I love learning. I always have. So, I was always curious, and they were good. But lots of times they just weren't graceful. They just weren't even logical and making sense. And I really needed something that would get me past something. I didn't know what it was, but I was stuck, and I needed to get past feeling like I was hit by a bus once in a while by things that happened. I had a really successful career, but my personal life wasn't always as smooth and as satisfying as I would like. So I listened to your interview. I purchased the Mental Detox, and I listened to that online because that's how it was offered, or that's the way I bought it. And then I was on your website, and I noticed that you also gave other kinds of products or other kinds of services. Because I liked what I'd learned so much, that I decided to come and visit you in Kauai. So that was a wonderful experience. But let me focus on the triple flame, or pardon me, the detox. I think one of the things that I really appreciated was the logic of it at the same time as the depth and the wisdom in that course. So each of the 6 sessions begin with a triple flame meditation. And in that, I've never heard of this before, where you actually talk about and lead us through the meridians. I've been doing acupuncture for years and years and years, and I've never had that within a meditation before. And I love that it brings me right into my body. And that's where so many of the issues were. So it was really helpful. And then after each one of the little workshops or sessions, there's an integration. So there's an opportunity to let the body, the mind, and the heart put it all together. So I just thought that was brilliant. Oh, I still do. I think also that the detoxification idea of your program is so important, because so much of our existence in the world comes out of the subconscious. And I knew certain things. I could tell myself I wasn't going to do that or think that anymore, but lots of what happened with me and for me in my life, I didn't understand why. And so in letting go of those underneath programs and those underneath issues, or at least bringing them up to the surface where I could see them and deal with them, has been very, very important. And one of the things that I really love about your work is your energy that goes with it. It's there in the program that you do online, and I've done your other programs too. But when you get to actually work with you live, I remember early on doing the session with you, and it's like I was carried away on the wave of your energy, the guidance. And so I used to wonder, well, afterward, how could I do that myself? Because there's so much that you brought to share in doing programs, or I did a little coaching course with you. And I see now that energy builds. And so I can get there myself now, because I've done enough work with you and I've done enough work myself. But when I was new to it, being able to work with you live was so invaluable. It just took me to another depth, another level of trust in myself, of understanding, of opening. So I really think anyone who has an opportunity to do this next course with you live is, they shouldn't pass it up, because it's very, 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 very precious. How have I benefited from this? Well, on the one hand, I just feel a lot more balanced, and that's that male, female. So I'm a logical person, but I also have a big heart. I often tell people that I'm really strong. I've been strong in many ways in my life, but I'm a softie. I'm not tough. And so getting this balance has been really helpful for me to not be so, because I'm sensitive, to not be so hurt or to react, to be triggered. So I'm not perfect in that aspect, but I'm much, much better. I guess one of the other things that stands out the most is that understanding of lack. And I love how you explain that it's not just lack of money or lack of resources, but lack of a sense of belonging. I don't think I had any idea of the divinity within me. I've always been a very creative person, but to understand, now I know it, I feel it, I'm connected to who I really am, and it makes such a difference. And it shows up in my life. I have abundance of all kinds of things now. There isn't anything that I I think I need any more than what I have. So that's been a super gift. And it's so interesting as well. Today, my brother called me, and we talk frequently, but he wanted to ask me questions. I'm a tiny bit older than he is, about things I remembered, because he says this last couple weeks, all these issues and memories are coming up, and there's this one thing I feel so bad about it, but I don't remember what happened. So we really are. He's just one example of people. We really are moving through some different time and energy, and people of all kinds are experiencing this letting go, this detox. And so I also think that your program, and the new one, because it's going to a new level, would be so helpful for people to move through at this point in time.
Well, thank you, Victoria. And it's been a joy and an honor to watch your transformation. And Victoria's on a bi-monthly call, a group call that we do together. And she is dispensing so much wisdom that everyone is benefiting from. So it's been a joy to witness.
Thank you. Sometimes what I say surprises even me. I don't know where the wisdom comes from, but it's about being connected, being totally in alignment with self. And not to say that I haven't got room to grow yet, because there are layers and layers and layers. And so I am planning to take this course with you, and to continue learning and growing. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, how perfect. Thank you so much, Victoria, because I wanted everyone to get a feel for how different their life can be once they've come to peace with who they really are and the divine spark that's within them. And we're never done until we croak. But but while we're here, this was the time to have joy, not the other, not fear. And I do think this is a huge opportunity to get the path out of fear and into high creativity with the divine. And that's not woo-woo. That's just being in the flow of life, just like anyone that's been in a business environment where they just know they're on. They're just on. That's available all the time. I mean, and in fact, you notice when you're not in it, right?
Yeah.
You're right. Well, thank you so much. So Victoria, I think we'll have, thank you very much. We'll bring you back at the very end, okay? Okay. So Suzanna, now what I'd love for you to do, if you would, is show your PowerPoint so that we can really give people a good view of what this wonderful gift that you have
Okay.
is. Okay.
Okay. Slideshow. All right. And so Suzanna Kennedy, the name of my new program is Sacred Union Reprogramming. And that is to illuminate your DNA so that you can embody your creative genius. So it's about helping you to not only at the concept level, remember that you are a creator, you're the creator of your reality, but to actually know it and feel it and be able to create with just positive intention and create what you want and not distortions of what you want. So that's what we're going for. And so just a little bit about me. I began my spiritual service in 1998. So in 97, I was married. I'd been married for 22 years. I had 2 teenage children ready to leave the nest. I was a corporate consultant from grew up in Michigan, so the Detroit area, and designed training programs and performance solutions, and was very successful in that, even though it was in the automotive industry and I was always surrounded by men. I still found a way to be very successful there. But I was starting to question my soul purpose. Was I really put on earth to teach guys how to run a car dealership? I was like, no, I don't think so. So I had an awakening, and it was very intense. It was, I know the Hindus call it a spontaneous Kundalini awakening. And it was one Saturday morning, waking up with all this energy running through me. And it was like a freight train going up my spine. And it was electric and scary, and my body was gyrating. And I was like, oh my God, what's happening? So I heard a voice in answer, you're giving birth to yourself, just breathe. So I did the Lamaze breath that I learned through childbirth. And it lasted for about an hour and a half. And when it was done, I felt like a completely new person. And I could feel the vastness of my beingness, that I was so much more than what was in this physical body, so much more than who I thought I was. And I could feel that connection. I could feel the oneness, but I could also see what looked to me like programming. I'd been teaching some computer classes, so probably that's why Spirit showed it to me that way. But, it was like, that is my subconscious programming. That is what, that's, what they call the ego. That is the self-identity. And I could see how limited it was. And I could see, that if I didn't clear it out, I wasn't going to be able to be the vast being that I was now experiencing. I could still see that it was a filter or a cloud over it. And, I wanted to find a way to do that. So I did find a practitioner who had a program that helped me to deprogram my subconscious and also clear the emotional baggage that programming had created in my life. So your programming, your beliefs create events in your life. It's what creates your reality. And then some of those events are hard and painful, and they keep getting repeated. So I wanted to clear that, and I did, and it was very effective. And so I certified in his method, became a practitioner. And when I started doing it as a practitioner, my guides who had stayed with me, that voice stayed with me and asked me to change it up and to evolve it to the next level. And they said, there's going to come a time when so many people recognize that they have these patterns, and that they notice that they get triggered, and that they notice that no matter how they consciously try to change it, it doesn't work. And so they're going to want something like this, and you're not going to have time to do one-on-one sessions the way that he was doing it. And, we want you to create it so that it can, people could do it for themselves. That you need to make it more graceful, because his method was not graceful. It was, it was really cathartic. It was bringing up the energies into the chakras, and, whatever had put that block there, they would re-experience it. It was a hard thing, and you needed somebody to be there to hold the space for them, because it was, traumatic. It's what Kathy was talking about. So, make it more graceful so they can do it themselves, or you can do it with a whole group at once. So anyway, I found that for myself, and it it opened me up and I made a total life change. And so I left Michigan and moved to Sedona and started a healing practice there. Well, I didn't even really start it. It just grew up. I had just begun doing the sessions, and I did it with a few new friends, and they started referring people to me, and it just happened. And so I continued to do that for a few years. And I just called them clearing sessions. And then because I had increased and I was so connected, I got guided to make this trip to Europe and and I kept hearing the words sacred union, sacred union. And by this time I was single. And so I thought it had to do with finding a partner. But anyway, I followed the guidance. I went to Europe. And when I was in one of the cathedrals, I received this big download. And I was told that consider yourself pregnant. A gift for the world is going to be born through you. And just, take care of yourself as if you were pregnant. So I did that. And on that trip, I moved, or after that trip, I moved. So I was living in Sedona. I took the trip, and then I moved here to Kauai. And I began teaching the Sacred Union program in 2001. And in November of that year, just a couple months later, I attracted my Sacred Union partner, who is now my husband of 22 years. So we've been together. And yes, a Sacred Union partner is very different than the kind of relationships, the romantic relationships we've been used to. So I did that. And then my guidance came in again and said, okay, there's new people waking up. It's time to go back to the emotional mental detox and get them started there, or the clearing sessions as they were called. So they wanted me to create the emotional mental detox, something that I could do online as a teleclass, because I'm living in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So I created it, did a bunch of teleclasses for a couple of years, and then turned that into a digital course in 2008. Now, all this time, I really couldn't explain how it worked or why it worked. I just knew it worked. And then Bruce Lipton came along with his biology of belief, and he was using the metaphor that our subconscious is like a computer program. Well, that made a whole lot of sense to me. And that was how I could explain, how this quantum physics and brain development and all of this stuff works together. And so that was a big help to be able to explain why it worked. And then in 2011, I got asked to do a talk, and Bruce Lipton was the keynote speaker. And we met, and I showed him my program, and he invited me to call his secretary and get on his referral list. So since then, so many of my clients have come through Bruce Lipton, through his website. And I just got to be with him again, July 1st to 4th. And we met again, and I told him and thanked him for all the referrals. And he said, how can we make it better? What can we do? So we're going to do something together in November. We have a call to collaborate. So I'm going to get to collaborate with somebody I admire a whole lot. So, okay. So we heard from Victoria, and I just thought you might want to hear from some of my other clients.
Hi, Hi, I'm Maureen, and I'm here to give a testimonial for Suzanna Kennedy's Emotional Mental Detox program. Some years ago, I became aware that I did not properly express anger. So I read books, I went to seminars, and I learned how to properly express anger. But then I found out that the anger I had already repressed for many, many years was still rumbling around in my body and could cause harm and cause disease. And when I found Suzanna's Emotional Mental Detox, I knew it was for me. I found it in about 2012 and have done it several times since then. The meditations are exquisitely done. She is very, very good at crafting her meditations. And of course, there's more than just an anger detox, but you will also find that there's a triple flame meditation that you do before each one of the detox program. And it also is very, very well done. So I highly recommend it and hope that you enjoy it.
The male and female detoxes had a very strong impact on me. I recognized after the meditations that these energies were significantly out of balance within me. And after doing the detoxes, I became much more aligned and balanced with my male and female energies. And going through the program overall helped to clear a lot of hidden trauma. And the end result was me being able to live in a much more present way and feeling a lot of peace in my life.
Aloha, Suzanna. The Emotional Mental Detox Program. What an amazing foundation to start growing, healing, and loving. So wonderful that it's all about self-empowerment and not at all about manipulation. I'm very happy that you always find the right words when fear, uncertainty, and doubt kick in. So after all this time, still here, growing, healing, and loving. Thank you very much. Aloha, Suzanna.
So I can highly recommend this course if you're interested in learning more about yourself and evolving as a being of light.
Hey, so that's the Emotional Mental Detox. Now, just recently, August 8th, 8/8, the Lion's Gate, my team came through again and says it's time to upgrade the Emotional Mental Detox program. And since I had, when I upgraded from the practitioner's way to the clearing sessions and then into the Emotional Mental Detox, the inspiration for it, what comes through is for the person I'm working with. So if we're going to upgrade it, we're going to do it live, because the energies are going to come through and talk to the people that are there. It's going to be just for them. It's going to be customized for their energy, what they've gone through. And as I think I mentioned, I've been integrating higher and higher levels of my consciousness. So right now, I'm working on integrating 8th dimensional consciousness, or I have integrated it, and it's my 8th dimensional self that wants to come through and bring through the highest frequencies, the newest light codes that are coming from the 8th dimension. So we're going beyond 5th here. And so when you can have your body in one dimension or density, but your consciousness can be in higher dimensions of consciousness. And when you spend enough time in those higher dimensions of consciousness, it begins to change your body. So we're transmuting from a carbon-based being to a more crystalline-based light being, where we can hold more and more light. And then from that higher frequency, of course, the law of attraction is always there. So you're going to attract a higher, more wonderful life. You're going to create a wonderful life because of the frequencies. So this is called, or what we want to do in the Sacred Union Reprogramming course is to give you the ultimate limitation. So the freedom from the barriers, the encoded patterns, the limitations that are residing in your DNA, and unlock that pathway to fully embrace and manifest your divine self, overflowing with unconditional love, divine wisdom, and boundless energy. So if you've ever felt held back by factors that you can't quite put your finger on, it's probably in your subconscious, and this transformational resource is made for you. So in our Sacred Union Reprogramming course, we are going to illuminate your DNA to embody your creative genius. So that's waking up the divine creator that's within you so that you can consciously manifest your version of paradise, like I have here. I'm living in Kauai. So grateful for that. So it will illuminate the limitations encoded in your DNA. It will detox those self-sabotaging programs from your system, and it will help to realign your blueprint with divine wholeness. And because we're going to be doing it live, you'll receive tailored intuitive guidance from me and energy transmission. And it's going to be live. So it's like we're working with the energies together. We're dancing with the energies. We'll be able to tap into the group vibe field for heightened transformation. Whenever we get a group into this high vibe, there's a huge synergy that happens. So it expands exponentially. And you can get your questions answered personally and feel supported by the community that's on the path with you, and benefit from my recent upgrades and experience of 20-some years here. Okay, the result. So imagine waking up each morning with boundless inner peace, joy pulsating through your veins, the clarity of purpose guiding your day. So picture radiant health and energy flowing to you to follow your heart's desires instead of constantly battling with fatigue and anxiety and fear. See yourself as an empowered creator manifesting your big visions, whether it's financial freedom, a thriving business, passionate relationships, all with grace and ease. And here's what's included. We're going to follow the step-by-step journey that has been so successful with the emotional mental detox, but we're going to do it completely differently with more frequencies, higher frequencies illuminating the DNA. So this is going to be even better, go even deeper, work even faster than what we had before with the amazing emotional mental detox. So we'll have weekly 90-minute group calls, and there'll be intuitive transmissions to unlock your DNA. When I get with the group, I can feel and read the frequencies. So I'll be able to guide you into what you need to clear. So you don't have to think about it. You don't have to figure out what do you need to clear. It's all going to be presented beautifully. We're going to have a private community, so you'll be able to connect in between our sessions for support and sharing and celebration and accelerating in the community, and getting support from me in between the live sessions as well. So everything will be recorded, and there'll be extra guided meditations that will help you in between and help you to integrate and stay aligned and continue to detox if you need to. So everything will be recorded, and there's going to be a downloadable journal so that you can keep track of your journey, because you're not going to remember who you were before when you get to the end of it. Okay, and what I want to say, this is the website, SuzannaKennedy.com/SUR for Sacred Union Programming. You need to make it all caps. And I want to say that this is a golden opportunity to really fast track your evolution, your soul evolution. Your soul has been bringing you back to this earth over and over again to have this happen, to have this clearing, to remember who you are and make this connection. And the sole purpose that we all have is to embody our soul and express ourselves, our soul, our true divine self. That is everybody's soul purpose. Now, you might have a soul mission that's beyond that, but that is everybody's soul purpose. So if you were asking that question, that just got answered. And, the way things are changing and moving, it's only going to get more intense for people who don't clear the density out of their cells and their consciousness. So I really think this is the time. So if not now, when are you going to do it? Okay, so this is my contact information. SuzannaKennedy.com. The Sacred Union Reprogramming is at SuzannaKennedy.com/SUR, all capital letters. And email. It's all easy. SuzannaKennedy@SuzannaKennedy.com. Okay. There we go.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. I hope people really got a feel for the intelligence of this, the efficiency of it, and that it really is the time now to end this year. We've got 3 more months in the year, and whether it's this year or next year, at some point, all of these obstacles that you planned for yourself somehow, what were we thinking? But anyway, your soul planned a learning curriculum, but you don't remember. But it's showing up. It's showing up in your environment, in your thoughts, in your actions, in your relationships. And this is a perfect time to upgrade it, to really change and release the subconscious things that just don't serve you anymore. They may have served you as part of your growth, but anything that's not necessary now is heavy. So, this is a path to our new earth and our new possibilities of living a loving future as humans.
Well said. Yeah.
Yes. So should we invite Victoria? Victoria, do you want to come back too? We're almost to the final part and didn't want to keep you in the background unless you want to be there. She is.
Hi again.
Hi. So it's exciting that you're going to be part of the group starting in September. So Suzanna, do you want to share again the date that this starts and make sure everybody knows about its 90-minute sections, right?
Yeah. So we're going to have 8 sessions. I know that the detox is actually 6, but we're going to have one to prepare and really get ourselves ready to release. And then at the end, there's going to be another one to help integrate that last session and, just answer any questions and celebrate together. So it's starting September 17th, which is a Sunday. And it will be, it's 8 o'clock in the morning for me, but it's 11 o'clock Pacific time and noon Mountain time for Kathy. Yeah. And 1 o'clock Central, and is that right? And then 2 o'clock Eastern. And and like I said, everything will be recorded. So if you miss one, you will have the recordings. And I even have somebody who's going to be taking it that it's like in the middle of the night. So they won't be attending live at all. But what we're doing is they're giving their input and asking their questions and all of that, like just on the phone. And I can bring that right into the class. So bring you right in. Everybody can hear you, see you, and I'll deal with, whatever your questions are, whatever you'd like to share. And then, of course, we also have the community kind of social network that's private. It's not even going to be on Facebook or any of those. So it's very private just for these people. And as a matter of fact, I think I won't even be using Zoom. I'm going to be using a private channel for, and then in case anyone is concerned about being on camera, you don't have to be. You can turn off your video if you'd like. So yeah, September 17th, and it'll be 8 sessions, once a week, every Sunday, like that.
If I could just add as well that being in, you mentioned this, Suzanna, but that the experience of being in a group working together is really powerful. So yeah, it's lovely to listen to the recording, and quite often those of us who've been in the group that Suzanna runs on a bi-monthly basis, we will listen to our session again and again. But there is something so powerful about being there live all together.
Yes.
Yeah. And one thing that I didn't mention is that the way that I do these sessions. So, we'll have an upfront discussion before we do the actual detox. But the detox session is in the format of a guided meditation. And so you're following along, and it's live, and I'm responding to all of the energies that are happening. And they really turn out to be very beautiful and full of energy and full of love. And and then we record it. And the way that I record it too is we have the upfront introduction part, and then the meditation is recorded separately, and then we share afterward, whoever wants to share. And Victoria is my favorite because she's so visual. She explains everything she sees. And yeah, so there'll be 3 separate recordings. So if you wanted to go back to just the meditation, you could. Or if you wanted to go back to the introduction where we're doing integration coaching and listen to what I said in response to you, and re-listen, it's all there. So
Oh, yeah. Wonderful. Well, I'm sorry that we're out of time for our session here, but I want to encourage people that I don't think anyone else is offering a tool and a opportunity like this right now. There's lots of people talking about going to the 5th dimension, going to 5th dimensional awareness. Some people are talking about 6th dimensional awareness, but I don't know of anyone else that has the capacity to expand their consciousness and their field to be in the 8th dimensional awareness and teach here. So this is a huge opportunity for those of you that know you're here for a divine purpose and need to know that you need the clearing, want to do it quickly and effectively, don't really want to do shadow bashing, shadow work bashing. This is a must-have. And I don't know if Suzanna will have multiple ones where she'll be live doing this. We're lucky that she's offering it in September. But you really, if this calls to you, don't delay. Don't delay. So Suzanna, one more time, what is the address, the URL for them so that they can easily find it?
yeah, it's SuzannaKennedy.com/SUR, all capitals. That stands for Sacred Union Reprogramming.
Great. Well, thank you very much. And I'm so excited about all of this work. And bless you, Victoria, and bless you, Suzanna, for this work. This is a big part of our opportunity to uplift humanity and really empower people to be who they really came to be. So thank you so much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.